Welcome back to Primetime Sports Tuesday. Now, the Jamaica Amateur Gymnastics Association has become the first sport to receive government approval to stage competitions following the Ministry of Sports announcement on February 5. The JAGA hosted the National Gymnastic Classics at the weekend. Here's Ronaldo Brown.
The Jamaica Amateur Gymnastics Association, JAGA, is among the first sporting association to stage a national trials locally since the first positive case of COVID-19 in Jamaica in March last year. JAGA is also the first sporting entity to have a trial with both local and international competitors.
We have a few gymnasts from overseas here with us from Great Britain who has been here for some time due to the fact that the country was locked down in Great Britain. We also have from the US, we have also from Canada competing here. And we also have our virtual competitors who resides in the US who have competed and submitted their videos for scoring.
Celine Jada Brown, who is from the United States, was elated to be back in a competitive setting.
It feels great to get competition, first of all, being in Jamaica. Both of my parents are Jamaican, it's a second home to me. And then being able to get competition in the midst of COVID, it feels really good because not a lot of people get the opportunity to still compete.
Zoya Johnson is Vice President of International Relations with JAGA, and among her responsibilities is recruiting athletes from overseas.
The hope is to implement my mindfulness into the base, the foundation of Jamaica's gymnastics organization so that we can put ourselves not only on the same level technically as the rest of the world, but spiritually and mentally put ourselves ahead of the game.
The Classic is also being used to help in the development of local athletes, something American judge John Odell says he looks forward to because it gives him the opportunity to interact with gymnasts and coaches.
So what I like to do, especially in Jamaica, is have that open dialogue with the gymnast, not necessarily to say keep your legs straight or to keep your toes pointed, because they already know all of that. I would like to keep that open dialogue so that I can help mentor them and that they can receive my feedback and hopefully remember that.
Ronaldo Brown for TVJ Sports.
And while the Gymnastics Association has resumed the competition, there's more concern this evening from the National Track and Field head coach about the continued delay in allowing athletes to compete. Karen Madden now reports.
The island's elite athletes have not competed locally since a series of meets organized by the MVP Track Club last summer. Word came last week that the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, the J3As, hadn't received a response to its application to host a time trial at the National Stadium, which had been scheduled for last weekend. This despite the government announcing that organizers could apply for approval to host their events on a case-by-case basis under the Disaster Risk Management Act. Now, with the postponed 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games just months away, national coach Maurice Wilson is arguing that the continued delays in the resumption of sports will be inimical to the Olympic dreams of the nation's professional athletes.
It's a sport that is based off individuality, and most times athletes can train by themselves. They are also given what I call lanes, and the lanes are set up in such a way that there is social distance, 4 or 5 meters apart from each other in terms of running out of a lane. And so it is important, and I do understand the situation that the government is in at this point in time. But the Ministry of Sports, they have advocated for the return following a particular process. I think we're on our way to that process. But in the interim, our professional athletes must be able to go to work. Go to work means that they must train. If they don't train, then they're not going to work. They have commitments to fulfill. This is an Olympic year, and all their competitors have been training.
Wilson is also a head coach at the G.C. Foster College-based Sprint Tech Track Club, which is home to several of the country's top athletes. Just last week, Olympians Johan Blake and Shelley-Ann Fraser-Price joined the chorus of calls for the resumption of competition for the nation's elite athletes. Karen Madden, TVJ Sports.